Yeah.
What we want to think of about the average rate of change is we're going to define it in terms of the slope of its fundamental triangle, right? So this would be the slope of the fundamental triangle for the points A, F of A, and B, F of B. Remember how we define fundamental triangle, right? Slope of the graph between the two corresponding points. Okay, the points corresponding to this value of t and this value of t. Now, just because these values of t are given by letters doesn't mean you can't write out a f of a and b f of b, does it? So let's see. A f of a is the point A, 0.015 a squared minus 2.6 a plus 160. That's all you can do. All you can do to do this point is call it a f of a, and all you can do with f of a is plug a in for t. Okay? So that's one of the points of the graph. You don't know where it is, but we can at least draw 2 points and call one of them this and call the other, well, the other's going to be your b f of b point, which is b 0.015 b squared minus 2.6 b plus 160. Okay? Now you understand function notation from something we did 2 weeks ago. You know how to plug things in for function notation. Okay? And with just an a and a b, that's even really pretty easy, right? So you have to know that, but you do, so you understand what I just did. Okay? And then you know that the fundamental triangle, well, you're going to have the point a f of a and b f of b. Now you don't know that a is less than b, so that you don't know if this point's really going to be higher or lower, right? And you don't know you don't know what f of a and f of b actually are because you don't have values, so you don't know whether this one's higher or lower. You don't know whether a is greater than b or b is greater than a, so you don't know whether this is to the right or left, right? Well, just draw them whichever way is more comfortable for you. It doesn't matter. Okay? So we just draw 2 points and let them represent these points. Okay? Now, what's the rise and what's the run?
F of B minus F of A rise
Yeah.
over B minus A. It's B F.
Well, the run goes from what value of t to what value of t?
Wait, what? The rise or the run? What'd you say?
Run.
Oh, I thought
What
you
not?
said
What symbols are we going to look at for the run?
A F of A minus B F of
Well, it's a and b, right?
Yeah.
This value goes from a to b. So what's the change in the how far is it from here to here? How do you get that if you have these two numbers?
You subtract A minus B.
Subtract this one from this one, right? Okay, you know to do that with numbers. And we've done a little bit with symbols. So if we go this way, the run is b minus a. What's the rise?
F of B minus F of A.
It's f of b minus f of a. Now, of course, we've got expressions for f of b minus f of a, right? So we can write out what f of b minus f of a is, because we write out f of b, which is 0.015 b squared minus 2.6 b plus 160, right? And then it's minus And we want to put parentheses around this because it's minus the whole blame thing, right? If you forget the parentheses, you're going to be likely to mess it up. Even if you remember the parentheses, you might mess it up, so you want to be careful. And it's going to be what? 0.015a squared minus 2.6a minus 160. Now, how can we simplify this? Well, I'll be gentle. I won't skip any steps because I don't want you to skip steps at this point. Okay? Now we distribute the minus sign through here, giving us minus 0.015a squared plus 2.6a plus 160, right? Okay? Now, if you even get this much down, I'm going to be relatively happy with it. On a 10-point problem for doing this and the picture and everything, I'd probably give you at least 7 points if you just got to here. If you simplify it, that's worth the rest, okay? Because this is algebra, you should easily be able to do. If you simplify it and get most of the steps right and screw up one little thing, it's probably 9 points out of 10, okay? So anyhow, here's how we simplify it. It's 0.015b squared minus 0.015a squared. We want to get the 0.015s close together because next we're going to factor out 0.015 using the distributive law backwards and get a simpler expression. And then it's minus 2.6b plus 2.6a, and then it's, you know what I did here? Even if you write it down wrong like I did,
I mean,
it's plus 160. I was under the influence of this negative sign, and you're not supposed to do algebra under the influence.
I mean.
Okay? Please don't turn me in. I promise never to do it again. No, actually, I can't make that promise. So that's going to make this a minus 160, right? So now we have a plus 160 and a minus 160. Okay? Now I'm getting down here toward the bottom of the board where it gets hard to write, and I'm getting pretty close to these not real sharp straps, but I don't want to cut my hand off, so I'm going to
I mean.
go up here. Okay? That's going to give me these two terms give me 0.015 times b squared minus a squared. Look, I just cut the end of my finger off.
Oh.
I regenerate quickly, so I'm all right. Okay? Make sense? Well, if you apply the distributive law here, you see that if you apply the distributive law to this, you get this, right? Factoring's nothing but backward distributive law. Okay, and then we got minus 2.6b plus 2.6a. Well, I'm going to write that as plus 2.6 times a minus b. I'm being a little fancy making that a plus. I could have done minus 2.6 times b minus a, but that would have been a pain, okay? But you can again check. If I multiply that through, I get a plus 2.6a to match the plus 2.6a and a minus 2.6b to match the negative 2.6b. Right? And then I have a really easy one, plus 160 minus 160. What's that going to give me? That's going to give me 0, isn't it? So I've got just enough room to squeeze in plus 0 over here. Make sure that the camera's picking up the edge of the board there. Okay? So that's just 0.015 times b squared minus a squared plus 2.6 times a minus b. Okay? Now, as I say, there are plenty of opportunities to screw up between here and here. There's even a way to screw up here like I did. But I was just pretending to screw up because I
Yeah.
wanted you not to feel bad if you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I understand.
Thanks for the
Okay.
explanation.
Are we all right? So, getting to here, that's good. Getting to here is very good. Getting to here with only minor mistakes is probably still 10 points. Okay? So, from here to here, you're dealing with that range from 7 points to 10 points, right? But I would consider this one of the more challenging things you have to do. See, the bottom line is you keep your wits about you and write down whatever it is. If you know that the average rate of change is identified with the slope of a fundamental triangle between the points corresponding to this value of t and this value of t, which we talked about last time, and I think you had some in your homework related to this, then it becomes easy to understand why we do this and to understand that that's what you just obviously do. There's no rule, nothing that tells you to do anything different, and it does tell you that this is what you do. Well then, f of a, f of b, you plug in the a and the b, you get these 2 points, right? Now, when I drew the triangle, I did a, f of a, and b, f of b, right? If you prefer, you could do a 0.015a squared minus 2.6a, 160, right? Plus 160. You could write that out in detail if you want to take the room, okay? But it's okay to do it this way too, and you have your choice. No real preference. But once you do this, once you write f of b minus f of a, of course, you use all the information you have. You write out what f of b is and what f of a is, right? Now, if you get just to here and don't write out the rest of it, well, it's probably half credit, but you want to do better than that, okay? Every step of this is worth something, okay? So just another plug for write out the details of what you're doing. Now, let's talk about timing of the major quiz.